And the Court of Appeal has quashed 67-year jail terms imposed against Sirisia MP John Waluke and his former business partner Grace Wahungu, who had been accused of fraudulently acquiring 313 million shillings from a government agency. The appellate judges faulted the lower court for failing to reanalyze and re-evaluate the evidence tendered in the trial court as required by law. The two had been jailed with an alternative of paying fines in excess of 1 billion shillings after they were found guilty of fraudulently receiving money from the National Cereals and Produce Board NCPB for maize which was never supplied.
It's a win for Sirisia MP John Waluke and his co-director Grace Wahungu after the Court of Appeal overturned the High Court's decision. A three-judge bench of the Appellant Court comprising Justices Asiki Mhandia, Patrick Kiage and Abida Ali Aroni set aside the sentence imposed on Waluke and Wahungu of a popular agency known as Irad Supplies and General Contractors for irregularly obtaining more than 300 million shillings from the National Cereals and Produce Board NCPB. The two had moved to the upper court to appeal the decision after they were found guilty of fraudulently receiving money from the NCPB in an alleged botched deal to supply some 40,000 metric tons to the government in 2004. But the Court of Appeal, in a decision on Friday, disagreed with the sentencing issued by the High Court. We are satisfied that the appellants have made a case to warrant us to allow the appeal. The appeal is accordingly allowed and the convictions and sentences imposed on the appellants are set aside. The appellants shall forthwith be set at liberty unless otherwise lawfully held, said the Court of Appeal judges. Justice Abida Ali Aroni declined to sign the judgment. The duo was in 2020 convicted and sentenced after they were found guilty of various charges ranging from altering false documents and unlawful acquisition of public property. Wahungu got a 69-year jail term while Waluke was handed a 67-year jail term. Each was given an option of a 1 billion shillings fine. The appellate judges faulted the lower court for failing to reanalyze and reevaluate the evidence tendered in the trial court as required by the law. Waluke had been accused of making a false invoice as evidence to support a maize storage claim by Chelsea Freights, who was also charged with fraudulently acquiring 297 million shillings from the public as a cost of storing the maize, which was to be supplied to NCPB. But the judges say that even if the offense of uttering false documents had been proved, it did not automatically mean that the other offenses Waluke had been charged with had been committed. A proper re-evaluation of the evidence would have revealed that there was no evidence that Waluke received money in all the charges relating to the acquisition of public property, since the money had only been deposited with the advocates of the company, the judges ruled. The court also condemned the National Cereals and Produce Board for attempting to punish Waluke and Wahungu to satisfy malicious motives. The appellate court emphasized that the prosecution did not sufficiently differentiate between legitimate funds and those allegedly involved in corrupt activities. Waluke and Wahungu have been out on bond of 10 and 20 million shillings cash bail, respectively, after spending 3 months in jail for the fraud. Rozongoi, NTV.